Let's just think about this for a second. The world right now is changing faster than ever before. To put that into perspective, it took the telephone 75 years to reach 50 million users. It took a modern AI app just 35 days. That is wild. Technology is completely transforming legacy industries literally overnight. Artificial intelligence is fundamentally reshaping how we interact, how we work, and how we solve problems. Global economies are evolving at this breakneck pace, and information travels across the entire globe in a matter of milliseconds. We are living in an era of unprecedented, hyper-connected velocity. But here is the massive disconnect we need to talk about in today's explainer. While the world is moving forward at this incredible speed, the way we actually lead the people navigating this change, well, honestly, a lot of it is completely stuck in the past. Change, innovation, disruption, the future. Look, we hear these words all the time, right? But they aren't just corporate buzzwords anymore. They are the unavoidable realities of our daily operating environment. We have information traveling in seconds, empowering teams with global data instantly. Yet paradoxically, so many organizational models are clinging to this rigid, top-down approach designed for a reality that simply doesn't exist anymore. Just think of those legacy retailers who insisted on strict brick-and-mortar hierarchies, while agile, digital-first startups just completely bypass them. That rigidity is actively costing organizations their future. So, this brings us to the real elephant in the room. Can old leadership survive modern change? Think about your own organization, or even just the leaders you've worked with recently. Who is actually equipped to lead when absolutely everything is uncertain? Because, spoiler alert, the systems that got us here are definitely not the systems that are going to get us there.
Here is our roadmap for this explainer. 1. The obsolescence gap. 2. Actionable steps to adapt. 3. Balancing innovation and responsibility. And 4. The future of leadership.
All right, let's jump right into part 1, the obsolescence gap, and why old methods are failing us. To figure out where we need to go, we kind of have to look at where we came from. For generations, the definition of a good leader was strictly tied to maintaining systems. The historical focus was all about stability, order, control, and structure. And to be fair, these traditional models were absolutely brilliant for the industrial era world they were actually designed for. Picture an assembly line manager in the 1950s. That was a world that was slower, it was localized, and above all, it was predictable. If you could build a strong, rigid structure and control the variables on the factory floor, you won. But those variables just aren't controllable anymore. We're actively watching this traditional leadership, which totally obsesses over stability and order, just collide head-on with modern reality. We are facing rapid innovation, digital transformation, global competition, and constant disruption. Imagine trying to manage today's constant information overload and shifting social expectations with a rulebook written for that 1950s factory floor. It simply doesn't work. Modern leadership is no longer just about maintaining systems. It is fundamentally about preparing your people for uncertainty.
Moving right along to part 2, actionable steps to adapt.
This chaotic, modern environment demands a totally new kind of mindset. We've got to transition out of the obsolete past and start building the solution by shifting from a passive manager to an active, futuristic leader. So, what is futuristic leadership? It's the ability to think ahead, adapt quickly, and guide people responsibly through change. Notice the active nature of that definition. It is not about being some tech visionary who knows how to code AI. It's about leading the people who are actually using it. It is an active, daily practice. Okay, here is what you really need to take away. These 3 actionable steps are your direct toolkit for surviving constant disruption. Step 1, think ahead and anticipate change. Practically speaking, this means setting aside maybe 10 minutes a week just to read outside your specific industry so you can spot emerging trends. Step 2, adapt quickly to new realities. To do this, you literally have to kill the perfectionist mindset and embrace rapid prototyping. When the data changes, your strategy has to pivot without taking a month of committee meetings. And step 3, guide people responsibly. Because pivoting quickly causes whiplash, right? Your team needs a leader who anchors them. Communicate the why behind every single pivot clearly and frequently. I really want this to sink in for a second. Stop managing systems. Start anticipating change. The leaders of the future have to do so much more than just react to global competition or manage human resources. Your job is to foresee the possibilities of the future. You are basically a scout out there pointing the way forward before the terrain even fully forms. Okay, let's look at part 3, balancing innovation and responsibility. Because look, as we integrate artificial intelligence and rapid digital transformation,
there is a very real risk of losing the human element. Futuristic leadership combines innovation with ethics. We absolutely have to weigh progress factors like innovation, new technology, and progress itself equally against our human core, which is ethics, humanity, and purpose. Think about it. If you only prioritize progress, you build a ruthless machine. But if you ignore progress, you get left behind. A digital transformation without a deeply human center is really just a machine. Let's break down some highly practical tips for integrating social responsibility into your day-to-day operations. These are the keys to ethical leadership. Number 1, combine intelligence with empathy. Practically, this means actively checking in on your team's mental bandwidth before launching some massive new software tool. Number 2, pair innovation with responsibility. Establish an explicit ethics check phase in your project timelines. Just because we can build something doesn't mean we should without considering the societal impact. And number 3, fuse vision with integrity. Be incredibly transparent about your data practices and privacy protocols. Maintaining trust during periods of rapid change is quite literally the only way your team will follow you into the unknown.
There is this powerful quote from our source material that I just love. Technology may shape the future, but human values give leadership its meaning. Let that anchor us for a moment. The leaders who succeed tomorrow are the ones who realize that while AI can process data 1,000,000 times faster than we ever will, AI cannot generate empathy. It cannot build trust. That part, that is entirely your job. Which brings us to our final section, the future of leadership, and some inspiring next steps. Let's state it with absolute clarity. The future is not going to wait for leaders who refuse to evolve. Adaptation is a muscle, and that old world of absolute stability, it isn't coming back. And honestly, I think that is an incredibly exciting thing. Tomorrow belongs to those who can adapt, inspire, and lead responsibly in times of constant, swirling transformation.
Stepping into this new era means shifting your entire focus. True leadership is not about maintaining power anymore. It's about influence, it's about responsibility, it's about vision. And above all else, it's about courage. Now, courage doesn't mean fearlessness. Actually, in practice, courage means admitting you don't have all the answers, but trusting your team to find them together. It's letting go of those outdated control mechanisms so you can boldly guide humanity into a thrilling, tech-driven future. I want to leave you with this final provocative thought today. The future won't wait. Will you lead the change or just manage the past? Think about one outdated process you can let go of right now